Section 10.5, application of matrices and determine. So let's check the first example. Before we start the first example, we're going to use the Cramer rule. Cramer rule says, here's the system AX equal B. Let A equal X1, X2, Y1, Y2, and B equal B1, B2. The first step, we're going to find the determinant for this matrix. The second step, we're going to find dx. How we're going to find dx? By substitute b here instead of x1, x2, and find dx. Then x is going to be equal dx divided by d. dy, we're going to substitute b by the y. So b1, b2, then we're going to find the determinant for this matrix, and y is going to be dy divided by d. That means the solution is going to be x and y. So these two coordinates is going to be our solutions. If the determinant of the matrix A equals 0, that means there is no solution or infinitely many solutions. Let's go to the first example. The first example, the method we're going to use in this one is called the Cramer rule. Let's check the second example, how we're going to solve the system. We already know here is the solution because I already solved it before. But let's check how did we solve this one. So the first step, I'm going to write down the system. A equal -5, 9, 3, -7, and here's B, -13, 11. Find the determinant for this matrix, which is -5 times -7 minus 9 times 3. The determinant is going to be 8. Then I'm going to substitute B instead of -5 and 3. It's going to be D sub x. Find the determinant for this one is going to be -13 times 7 and minus 9 times 11. So it's going to be -8. That means x is going to be dx divided by d, which is -8 divided by 8 is going to be -1. Now, next step, I'm going to find dy. dy is going to be -5, 13, 3, 11. I'm going to plug in -13 and 11 on 9 instead of 9 and -7. Find the determinant for this one is going to be -5 times 11 minus -13 times 3. So minus -13 times 3. So the result is going to be -16. That means y is going to be dy divided by d, which is equal to -16 divided by 8. So the result is going to be -2. So our solution x equal -1 and y equal -2. And that's what we have here. For number 3, here is the system, which is going to write down the system 4, 3, 8, 6. And here's the B. Let's find the determinant for this matrix. The determinant for this matrix is going to be 4 times 6 minus 3 times 8. So it's going to be 24 minus 24 is going to be 0. That means there is no solution or infinitely many solutions. On whoop sign, we're just going to write down impossible. That means we can't use the Cramer rule. But to find the solution, because we have infinitely many solutions, I'm going to write down the first equations and try to solve this one with respect to the y. So I'm going to keep the y, move the x to the other side, so -4x minus 2. Then divide both sides by 3. So here is the solution. This is the y. And so x and the y is going to be the dependent variable on x. So -4 over 3x minus 2 over 3. This is the y value. So if you have x1, you're going to get a new y value. If you have x2, you're going to get a new value. x3, that's why we have more than one solution. That's it for example 3. Before we go into example 4, when you have 3 times 3 matrices and you need to find the solution by using a Cramer rule, So here is the matrix, 3 times 3, 3 rows and 3 columns, and here is the matrix B. So the first step, we're going to find the determinant for the matrix A. Step 2, I'm going to change B with the first column. This is dx. I'm going to find the determinant for this matrix. Then x is going to be dx divided by d to get the value of x. dy, we're going to find, substitute b by the second column. Here's the b. See the b here? Here is the b. Then find the determinant for this matrix. So y is going to be dy divided by d. And next step, we're going to change b with the third column. So here is the b. Find the determinant for this matrix. So z is going to be dz divided by d. And the solution is going to be x, y, z. And that's what we did on example 4. So on example 4, I'm going to write down the system for -1 and 1. The first step, I'm going to find the determinant for this matrix. So this is a plus, minus, and a plus. So here is the first number 4. Cancel this row and this column. So it's going to be 2, 3, -2, and 6. Minus -1. Cancel this row on the second column. So it's going to be 2, 3, 5, 6. Plus 1. Cancel this column on this row. So it's going to be 2, 2, 5, -2. Simplify everything here. Find the determinant here. 2 times 6, 12. Minus 3 times -2 is going to be -6. So it's going to be plus 6. A plus 1, 2 times 6, 12. 3 minus 5, 3 times 5 is going to be 15. So minus 15. And the same thing with this one. Do the math, we get 55. Now, next step, we're going to change B with the first column. So I change B with the first column, plus minus a plus. Find the determinant for this matrix, D sub x. Our determinant is going to be -55. Now, next step, x is going to be dx divided by d, which is dx -55 divided by 55 is going to be -1. So here is our value for x is -1. Now we're going to find dy. So I'm going to change b with the second column. So change b with the second column and then find dy. So it's going to be 4, 12, 3, -1, 6 minus -6. It's going to be 2, 3, 5, 6 plus 1 is going to be 2, 12, 5, -1. Do the math, we got dy equal 220. That means y is going to be equal dy divided by d is going to be 220 divided by 54, 5 is going to be 4. dz, we're going to change b with the third column on the matrix A. Plus minus, find the determinant for the z. It's going to be 4, 2, 12, -1, -1, minus -1, 2, 12, 5, -1, minus 6 is going to be 2, 2, 5, -2. Do the math here, we got 110. That means z is going to be dz divided by d, which is 110 divided by 55, and the result is going to be 2. That means x equal -1, y equal 4, and z equal 2. So that's the solution for example 4. You're going to do exactly the same thing for example 5. Let's move to number 6. For number 6, consider the circuit in the figure with I1, I2, I3, and here is the equation. So keep in your mind, I1 is 4, for the I2 is 0. Now with the second equations, I1 is 0. So when you write down the system of the matrix 4, 0, 8, 0, 2, 8, 1, 1, -1, and here's the B. The first step, we're going to find the determinant for the matrix A. So this is a plus, minus, and a plus. So it's going to be cancel this row on this column. So it's going to be 4, 2, 8, 1, negative 1. Minus 0. Cancel this column on this row. So it's going to be 0, 8, 1, negative 1. Plus 8. Cancel this row on the third column. So it's going to be 0, 2, 1, 1. Now 4. 2 times negative 1 is going to be negative 2 minus negative 8. Minus 0. The whole thing here is cancelled. Here is 8. 0 times 1 is going to be 0 minus 2. Now it's 4 times negative 10 and 8 times negative 2. So the result is going to be negative 56. Next step, we're going to change B on the first column to find dx. Plus, minus, plus. Find dx. By doing these steps, you're going to get 252. That means I is going to be the same thing, which is the x, which is dx divided by d. So it's going to be 252 divided by negative 56, which is equal negative 4.5. So this is the value of x or for I1. So we put here negative 4.5. Now, next step, we're going to find dy by substitute b by the second column. So we substituted b by the second column, plus, minus, plus. dy is going to be, find the determinant is going to be negative 504. So I2 is going to be the y, which is dy divided by d. So negative 504 divided by negative 56 is going to be 9. dz, we're going to substitute b with the third column on matrix A. So here's the third column. So it could be plus, minus, plus. dz, find this is 0. This one is going to be 18 times negative 2, 4 times negative 54. Do the math, is going to be negative 252. That means I3, which is equal to z, the same thing, dz divided by d, which is negative 252 divided by negative 56 is going to be 4.5. And that's what we got on example 6. The I3 is going to be 4.5. You're going to do the same thing with example 7. So for example 7, you just have to be careful here. There's no variable here. We have I1. So when you write down the matrix A, the matrix A is going to be, the coefficient here is 1. For I2, is 1 for T for the second equations. For the third one is going to be 0. Now for T2, the coefficient here is negative 2. And then there is no T here, which is 0. And there is 1 here. For the third column, there is no T, not T3, it's A. The variable here is A. So the first one, there is no A. With the second equation, there is negative 3. You're going to type negative 3. And for the third one is going to be 2. So here is the matrix A. We're going to use this matrix by using a Cramer rule to find the solution. So let's check the steps. So here is the matrix A. We're going to plus, minus, plus. Then here's the matrix B. Now we're going to find the determinant for the matrix. So it's going to be 1. Cancel this row on this column. So it's going to be 0, negative 3, 1, 2. Minus negative 2. Cancel this column on this row. So it's going to be 1, negative 3, 0, 2. A plus 0. Cancel this column on this row. So it's going to be 1, 0, 0, 1. The whole thing here is 0. Now here it's going to be 1 times 3, 3. And 2 times 2, 4. So D is going to be 7. D sub x, we're going to change B with the first column and find the determinant. So this one a plus, minus, plus. Do the same thing. We got D sub x is 1140. That means T1 is going to be X, which is dx divided by D. It's going to be 162.9. You're going to round this number. You're going to round this number to the nearest one decimal. That's what they mention here. Round here answer to one decimal place. So this is why we're going to change B with the second column. And then this is a plus minus a plus. And we're going to find the determinant. dy is going to be 1, 192, negative 3, 62, and 2, minus 0. So this is 0, and this one is also 0. Because 0 times any number here, 0 times any number is going to be 0. So the left here, 192 times 2, 384, minus negative 3 times 62 is going to be plus 186. It's going to be 570. That means T2 is going to be equal y, which is dy over d. So 570 divided by 7 is going to be 81.4. dz, which is the value of A. So we're going to change B with the third column on matrix A. Here's the third column. So we're going to change B in the third column of matrix A. So we get this matrix. We're going to find the determinant. So plus minus a plus. That means it's going to be 1. 0 times 62 minus 192 minus negative 2, 1 times 62, 62 minus 0, and here is going to be 0. So 1 times negative 192 is going to be negative 192 plus 124, which is 2 times 62, so it's going to be negative 68. That's mean A, which is the third column, equals C, which is dz divided by D. So it's going to be negative 68 divided by 7 is going to be negative 9.7. And that's what we got here on the third one. So the value of T is going to be 162.9. The value of T2 is going to be 81.4. And the value of A is going to be negative 9.7. That's it for section 10.5.